Yes, I welcome Grenada, Caracopiti Morning, and the rest of the world. I'd like to officially welcome you to another Mikey Life program. I am your host, Mikey Hutchinson, and I'm coming to you from the most beautiful island in the Caribbean. We are talking about Grenada. They call us the Tri-Island State, they call us the Spice Isle, they call us pure Grenada. All the good things associated with us, we can claim that. Now, folks, we have a lot of things to tell you about now, man. Listen, social media is a buzz with persons talking about the current state of emergency, the curfew that has been imposed on us. It is now in effect, yes. And so all residents, with the exception of law enforcement officers, with the exception of essential workers and some other small groups, you are supposed to be indoors. There are roadblocks everywhere, like the scene from a movie. We'll talk to you more about that a little bit later on. Let's take a look and see what's making the headlines for tonight. Marketing Board offers help to vendors. We'll tell you an interesting gesture by the Marketing and National Importing Board. Grenada confirms 2 more cases of the coronavirus on the weekend, bringing the current number to 9. Grenada under total lockdown. What does that mean for you and your family? Here's what. Supermarkets flooded today with people. We'll tell you why. 27 persons arrested for breach of the curfew. We'll explain that to you as well. All supermarkets to be closed during the mandatory curfew, which ends on April 6th. In other words, no supermarkets in the Tri-Island State of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique will be open until, if the curfew ends on the 6th, as it is scheduled to that date. If it extends, well, we don't know what adjustments will be made to the current rules. But for now, we know that no supermarket will be opened until such time. All residents must remain at home. We will tell you more. Postponement of motor vehicle inspection, we're going to talk about that. And the IRD extends the March deadline to April 30th, 2020. We have all that and more to tell you about when we come back on tonight's Mikey Life program. Folks, this is not no stooge, blah, 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 blah. No, this is news discussed, not told. After all, it ain't that serious. Stay tuned. When we come back, it gonna be real news in Ololili Lolo. And remember, the headlines was brought to you through the kind compliments of Digicel and, of course, the good folks at Nawasa. For those of you who have not yet done so, I'd like to encourage you to share the program, because when you do so, that's how we know, that's how other people rather gets to know that we are live, particularly those who don't receive a notification. To those of you who are on the program for the first time, thank you for so doing. And for the loyal people, the troublemakers, the usual suspects, hello. Hope you had a great weekend. We're taking our first break, and we shall be back momentarily. Stay tuned.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Are you looking to rent chairs and tables? Then call Waggy T Rentals. We rent tables and chairs for any event. We have 7 different types of chairs: plastic, folding chairs, gray and white, resin white chairs, conference chairs, even Chivari chairs in gold and white. We also rent 6 feet and 8 feet rectangular folding tables, 4 feet and 5 feet round tables, and even cocktail tables. Give us a call at 444-RENT. That's 444-7368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Grand St. George.
The following is an important announcement from NAWASA. The National Water and Sewage Authority NAWASA is an essential service within the meaning of the Emergency Powers COVID-19 Regulations 2020. In light of the recent announcement by the government of Grenada of a mandatory shutdown for the period March 30th to April 6th, 2020, be advised that all offices island-wide will be closed. During the period, the following numbers will be available for the reporting of leaks and no water complaints. The Parish of St. Andrew, 405-3362. The parishes of St. David and St. George, 459-4096, 405-3814, 405-6996. The parishes of St. Mark, St. John and St. Patrick, 405-1197. Nawasa's emergency line, 435-0715 or 292 plus the number sign. WhatsApp 459-6064. Consumers are advised that team members will not provide bill balances and account queries on the telephone numbers provided. NAWASA thanks the general public for their understanding and cooperation and encourage you to please be on the safe side. NAWASA, committed to meeting customers' needs.
All right, thank you very much, guys. And of course, we are back with you for another night. All right, so let's make sure we fix up with things, with business ready to go. All right, so Olia, let's get into what's making the news for tonight. All right, now, the St. George's University continues to collaborate with Grenadian health officials during this global pandemic by supporting Grenada's medical professionals to combat the public health threat of the coronavirus, the COVID-19, in the Grenadian community. According to SGU, they say that SGU has received approval from the government of Grenada and Grenada Airports Authority to arrange an additional repatriation chartered flight on Tuesday, March 31st for remaining students who can return home. This incoming charter flight will arrive with additional medical supplies, but no incoming passengers. SGU is making every effort to ensure the international SGU community does not burden Grenada's healthcare system. SGU has made provisions for Grenadian students who returned home from the university to the West Indies and other Grenadian nationals who are not symptomatic to self-quarantine at the university club for the government mandated 14 days. COVID-19 is a test of solidarity, and during these uncertain times, it requires cooperation and collaboration. All right? They say that their decision to facilitate the UE students and others stemmed from a concern for Grenadians, for Grenada's public health, and how we would hope SU students who will become future doctors would get support during these challenging times. That's according to Dr. Rich Leibowitz, I think that's the proper pronunciation, who's the Vice Chancellor of the St. George's University. Thumbs up for you and I, you know what I mean? Yeah, good. Yeah, you know what I mean? I think that deserves a little thumbs up kind of thing, right? Now, the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force wishes to inform the general public that, you know, they were saying that the inspection and so on for your motor vehicles was going to resume. Now, the updated information is that all motor vehicle inspection will be suspended until further notice. The Royal Grenada Police Force would like to thank you for your understanding and would like to apologize for any inconveniences caused. Now, people have been calling and asking, which is it? Is it postponed or is it resumed? Is it postponed or is it resumed? Now, listen, it is postponed until further notice. Also, in a notice that we have for you as a direct response to curbing the threat of the COVID-19, the Inland Revenue Division wishes to advise the public that pursuant to Section 26 of the Tax Administration Act 2016, all filing deadlines due to due on the 30th, that was today, and on the 31st of March 2020 have been extended to April 30th, 2020. This relief is automatic, and taxpayers do not need to file any additional forms or fill out any forms or call the IRD or send no email or anything for this extension. It applies automatically. Now, folks, you always see a lot of bad news and things, and I don't like when it's that bad business we're telling all. So here's a good business. Now, you know that the Ministry of Health sent out this this information last week that the market vendors and so on would not be allowed, the vendors then, would not be allowed to sell as usual. So on Saturday when you go to town, listen, man, cockroach making cook in the middle of the road. Because the place dead, not a person. I telling all the big pot of oil, I don't know what they cooking, you know. Them cockroach celebrating, nobody don't interfere in them Saturday morning, the place dead. So no market vendor was allowed to ply their trade as usual. And the government had said that they have put measures in place, all right, to sort of cushion the effect for the vendors. All right. They said that they were working with various entities to present a viable solution to the market vendors that will balance their ability to have a livelihood and still remain safe in the process. However, the Marketing and National Importing Board decided that, hey, maybe we can help these vendors in a particular way. So, on the weekend, the Marketing and National Importing Board said that they are trying to find ways in which they could help the vendors and have come up with a plan. All right? So, what they decided to do was to provide storage. Marketing Board offers storage to the vendors. So they say if you have your perishable items in your possession, you can either sell it to them or store it at their facility. Somebody give Marketing Board a clap, no man, I ain't hearing all the way. We don't hear bad news all the time. So when we hear something good, it don't matter how small it is or how minute or how, you have to still recognize him cannot be it, boy. Who make that decision? Who make that call, boy? Tell them that's a good one. Because now, the vendors will have to lose their business because you know them things don't spoil easy. You like a sieve and like a time and thing that go grow in your hand. Them vendors, they scratching their head one day, you know how they making a piece. Next thing Marketing Board say, hey, you know what? Let's give them a pull out. You understand? So, here what's going on. When you hear all these things fix up, go and buy things from Marketing Board, eh? Watch, look here. Right, good. So, on the weekend, boy, Sunday, the River Road facility, they open it up and thing. So that the vendors can come and organize. It's like a shelter for produce, you know. You know when you have hurricane shelter, everybody come with a little sack and they jacket at the back and thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? They bring this shelter for the yeah, man, you're telling me. Anyway, that piece was a good piece. Anyway, lately that talk. Big up Marketing Board. Now, I remember you used to have Deadpool hunting in all them communities, like little Deadpool hunting, and people come and they bring the produce there and Marketing Board will come and pick it up on Saturday. I don't see that again. Well, lately that talk there. No, the Ministry of Health on the weekend, Saturday, has announced that there were 2 more confirmed cases of the COVID-19 in Grenada. 2 more cases. And it brings the number now to 9. See, Minister still said, well, you know, they came in. It's a man and a woman. You know, they did the test and all kind of thing like that. And then it turned out that the persons were positive.
Today, Saturday, March 28th, 2020, I announced that 2 more laboratory-confirmed cases of COVID-19 on mainland Grenada have been diagnosed. This brings the total confirmed cases of COVID-19 to 9. Of that number, 1 is an imported case, and the other is likely an import-related case with relatives who were visiting from New York. The new cases are as follows. A 72-year-old female who started experiencing symptoms on March 20th and was tested on March 25th. Since the onset of her symptoms, she has been under the care of a doctor. Healthcare officials are aggressively investigating so as to determine the exact point of contact, as well as potentially mass exposure. Given that the relatives arrived on a flight from New York on March 17th. Again, just to stress, we do not yet know the exact point of contact for the particular case, but we are operating under the assumption that all of the foregoing are real possibilities, just to be safe. We are taking no chances. Once that information is available, we will inform the public. The second case is a 50-year-old male who was on the same flight from the United Kingdom on March 16th, sitting within a 6-foot radius of our first confirmed case, and several of the other cases that were confirmed 2 days ago on March 26th. Both individuals, as well as the other cases previously announced, are all exhibiting mild to moderate symptoms. In terms of testing, 9 people have tested positive so far and 35 negative, with none pending as of this announcement tonight.
Thank you, sir. All right, and that was the announcement that was made on Saturday. Oh yeah, we are moving on. How are we looking for time? Currently, folks, Grenada is under a total lockdown. Now, from the time the announcement was made on Sunday, persons were waiting so that they can go get groceries and stuff. Yo, today it was like Christmas Eve. The place rammed with people trying to capitalize on some last moment purchases. Not just St. George's, but all parishes, including St. Andrew, saw crowds lining up in front supermarkets, lining up in front banks, lining up at gas stations so that they can get the necessaries by. Yo, that piece was different. Carrico and PD Monic saw the same thing. Persons lining up to get groceries. You understand? Lining up to get gas, lining up to visit the the banks and so on. You understand? In some cases, the whole 6 feet distancing were not observed. One would argue that probably today was one of the high-risk days. You understand? Because so many people were out, and not deliberately, but to some degree, exposed themselves to the virus because of the close proximity in which they were standing to other people. Anyway, let's hope that nothing so don't happen in our bed. Because today make your boy belly boil. In our bed. So anyway, going back to the whole business now. So Grenada is under full lockdown as of tonight. Last night the minister justified reasons for the actions, saying that, hey, listen, that Grenada don't hear. Some of them stupid. Going up on social media with like a video and thing and showing that they having backyard party and thing and like, oh, the police come. Watch. Mark Zuckerberg don't finish build Facebook. You know? Mark Zuckerberg, you don't finish build Facebook because you have to put up a piece, like a section in the Facebook where you could slap somebody. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Them boy and them showing up, some of them dons can't even spell. They writing subject can't even spell. You know? But you know, when the police come for some party and make things get kind of, yo. So the police and the government are saying that because we had hard, they had to lock down the place. Right now, man can't go and make a little lime and a little run on the beach and thing. You know what I mean? Because they say some people are just compromising the safety of other Grenadians. And the minister, it seemed like if he vexed too when he making the monks meant.
The beach parties end. The bar gatherings and boat parties end. The crowded buses will be parked up. Everything that puts our lives and our livelihood at risk ends. Fellow citizens, as a result of the inability of some of us to follow the guidelines designed to keep you safe, the government is now revisiting the measures from last week with a view to escalating them. This will give our medical authorities the necessary mechanism to contain the very real possibility of a community spread of this COVID-19 virus. It will also ensure that there is proper maintenance of supplies and services. In this regard, therefore, a mandatory curfew will be imposed beginning tomorrow at 7 p.m. and will continue until the 6th of April. During this period, every person shall remain confined to their place of residence, inclusive of their yard space, to avoid contact outside of their households, and except to provide in the regulations or as may be authorized in writing by the Commissioner of Police. This means that you are not permitted to go to the beach, go for a walk, or visit your neighbor. You are only to leave for food or medical emergency. And grocery stores and shops will be open, but only on specified days.
Yo, man used to make the little vibes in the night in the beach. They go to the beach and they watch the moonlight, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean? No man can make a little, you know what I mean. Anyway, so that had happened because it's necessary. You know what I mean? To like prevent us from getting ourselves in them kind of business. Now, still says these measures are necessary since the security of the state has been compromised. My family, your family, he family, them family are all at risk.
The security of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique is compromised. Our security is compromised in a way that it has never been before. Lives are at stake. Your life is at stake. Your grandmother's life is at stake. Your father's life is under threat. My life and that of my family are under threat. So is my neighbor's. Whole families stand to be wiped out. From the halls of the palace to the seat of the Prime Minister to the village slums, COVID-19 has shown that it respects no one. And every time you venture outside of your house, you put yourself and others at risk. Every time you leave your house, you are in danger of getting infected or killed. Every time you break or ignore guidelines to quarantine when you have been exposed, you are potentially taking the life of one of our citizens. Maybe you are prepared to take that gamble, but unfortunately, it's not only to your detriment, you are endangering the lives of each of us.
Yeah, boy, so that is the piece that's going on there now, you know what I mean? So they say that they're doing the business and things like that. Now, folks, 27 persons since the announcement of the restrictions have been arrested for the breach of the curfew. Now, the announcement was made by the Commissioner of Police, Edwin Martin. He had a press conference today. Yeah, they invite media before the boy driving, before you pling plang invitation, before you know it, press conference start. The boy can't get to attend the press conference. I get hard on there, but give them a pass on that piece. You know what I mean? I say, so what happened to our viewers and things? They don't important to all. Give us a little link if you know you're having an immediate press conference, you know, just in the interest of everybody. You know, just make a phone call and say, here what Mikey. And we just sent out a little thing like that. I don't know if you get it yet. We're gonna have thing one time, so link up, you know what I mean? Yeah, your boy could just put on like a satellite and fly a drone. And don't treat all the boys so no dog, we are the same team. Your boy get hers and thing, eh? But I say, alright, I'll give like a pass because, that's how thing is, and the thing just moving fast, so I understand, don't let it happen again. You hear me? Alright, good, we good. So the Commissioner of Police, he made the announcement today. He said, would you imagine 27 people arrested so far?
Since Monday, the start of our limited state of emergency, the RGPF arrested 27 persons specific to the limited state of emergency for lack of cooperation, breaking curfew, leaving the place of residence without due cause, and a number of matters that has put us in an environment that makes it difficult to enforce the social distancing as well. As a result, in this period, we definitely will heighten our operational posture.
You say, why I like this big water thing here? I like him. Anyway, so 27 people are arrested so far. You understand? But here's what he's saying. Under this whole mandatory curfew business, all supermarkets will be closed. There are days where you could go by the shop, Wednesday and Thursday, I think it's Monday, Wednesday and Friday, something so. You understand? You could go in the shop, but now supermarket. Them shops within your community. And here's what, and when you're going into your shop into the community, don't play you're going and skip parish. No, you're staying within your parish.
As a result, in this period, we definitely will heighten our operational posture. And before I get into that, I want to speak to some of the areas that are of concern to members of the public. First is the issue of the operation of shops. We will allow shops to open Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays under this arrangement for the period of 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. or noon, as I should say. These shops, however, are limited to shops where they are not employees to come from outside. So they are owners operated shops, small shops in the villages that are owner operated, and shops that does not require employees coming from elsewhere. You will not see an operation of supermarkets during this period. Farmers. As it relates to farmers, we do have within the regulation the opportunity for farmers to apply for exemption, to be able to attend to nurseries as well as to attend to the animals. We understand that given the time frame with which the regulation has been passed and the ability for farmers to be able to make that application is limited and challenging. And so police officers will express or exercise discretion.
Okay, sorry for that abrupt end. What he's saying, so that the police officers will exercise discretion in that regard. We apologize for the abrupt end in that clip. Now, folks, we were also telling you that the persons who are going out on the days to shop and thing, don't feel you're going to roam. Like if you forget where you're home. They're saying that you have to shop within your parish. And for the avoidance of doubt, all persons must remain within their yards.
On the days for which shops will be open, this is what the public can expect. The police will locate roadblocks and checkpoints on the exiting boundary of every parish. And for example, it means then that no vehicle or person will be able to leave any parish because of roadblocks to go outside of that parish to access any service. For the days that we open up for service, we expect individuals to use the shops that are available within that community. In addition to this, we will also have a number of patrols within that parish to make sure that we can prevent the unnecessary gathering and to police persons who choose not to comply with what is permitted. On the full curfew days, which will start tomorrow, so commencing tonight, from curfew tonight, we also maintaining a full curfew environment into tomorrow. And what that means, as stipulated in the regulation, we will expect all residents to stay within the confines of their homes or yard space during that period of time. The exceptions will only be exceptions as catered for in the regulation. And that has to do with emergency, security, law enforcement, and the essential workers that are covered in the regulation. All other persons not so covered, we want to encourage and ask you to remain in your residence during that period of time tomorrow.
And that is what is expected of you. No gray areas. No gray areas. The essential workers, and they know who they are going to be the ones who are allowed to cross parish and go into the gas station. Of course, in terms of accommodation for gas, gas stations all will be closed. So supermarkets will be closed, gas stations will be closed, but the Call gas station in Tempe will be open to provide gas to essential workers, and essential workers have to have their ID and stuff like that in order for them to get their gas. And they say that they're also working on a location in the north to have persons, essential workers, to get gas there. But again, it is only to accommodate the essential workers. On a side note, as being reported by the New Today, let me read the thing for you. And if I have like a microphone, I'm to read it. No, I like me like a melee. Brothers and sisters, all. Breaking news. Tobias Clement to become the opposition leader. Stand up properly. All right, let me read the thing. St. George's Northeast Member of Parliament Tobias Clement is today set to become the official leader of the opposition in the Parliament. A source close to Clement told the New Today that the parliamentarian called the Governor General, Dame Cecilia Granard, a few minutes ago, which is earlier today, to prepare the instruments of appointment for him to take the oath as opposition leader in Olelini Lolo. Yo! Tobias Clement was once on the other side of the business, and now he's on the other side of the business, and so that's a very interesting business to be reporting on the program. It is very interesting that we are going to, I think the last time something like that happened was when the boy peed in bed still out there. Mommy, now me a peed in bed, Mike. Since them kind of days, you know, I'm showing it to my brother. Yo, that one decent. So, it's different too. So anyway, folks, this is going to be a very interesting development coming up, because he says there are a lot of things happening within his constituency that he don't like and has to be addressed. And this whole business too with the whole COVID and things like that, he needs to let his voice be heard on behalf of his constituents and the Grenadian people. Reporting for Mikey Live News, I am Mikey Hutchinson. So, that piece, different. I love it. When the politics get interesting and then kind of business. Anyway, let that talk. Before we go further, all right? Further, here's what's going on. There's a song that we all grew up to. There are a lot of things that we used to do before our lives got really busy. And one of the positives coming out of this whole business is that it allows us to slow down a bit, recalibrate, and inform ourselves of the things that brought us to where we are today. Because probably we were losing our way. Rightfully so we were. We got a little busy with social media. We forgot the people within our homes. Then you realize your son boy years. You didn't realize your son boy years. You didn't even realize your daughter growing nails. And she got in, she heard it calling, wanna carve that piece on top here. And put in a marker instead. You didn't realize those things. Only now you realize that your child bright. Only now you realize your son is very intelligent. Only now you realize your child have a fever. Only now you realize that, hey, I love my children. So there's some positive that's coming out of this whole COVID-19 business. You understand? Only now I realize I had to get rid of some belly boy. Yeah, no. Anyway, there's a song that every Grenadian who's over the age of maybe 20 right now can relate to. I found circulating on social media again. And it will be remiss of me if I do not use my position to influence you again and to bring you back to those days. And if any one of all you touch all your phone to disconnect that program tonight when I play that song, me and all will go find. Anyway. Who remembers this?
Can quench the evil flame. When trouble grows, Jehovah sees, Jehovah knows. He is my peace. When sorrow nears, Jehovah sees, Jehovah hears. Of God upon the waters. Hear the voice of the Lord within the thunder that rolls. King of the flood, the Lord is mighty, mighty. The Lord can calm the troubled soul. Troubled soul. Peace when trouble goes. Jehovah sees, Jehovah knows. He is my peace when sorrow nears. Jehovah sees, Jehovah hears. Like the bread I need to live, Jehovah takes, Jehovah gives me peace when trouble comes. Jehovah sees, Jehovah knows. Yeah. The Lord is mighty, mighty. The Lord can quench the evil thing. Evil thing. Peace when trouble blows. Jehovah sees. Jehovah knows. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He is unseen. When Jehovah sees. Jehovah hears. My God, He is. Like the bread. I need to live. I need to live. Jehovah takes. Jehovah takes. Jehovah gives me.
Yes, when last have you heard this song? I remember that was a song from way back when, Lionel Peterson, 1993, Peace. It's a beautiful, beautiful song from a beautiful album. The name of the album, Rejoice Africa. All right, and of course, that song was a hit back in the day. Like probably one of the most played. Wait, no, where you going? Take your time with me now, man. One of the most played gospel songs back in the day for years. It's like, anyway. So I thought that I would share that with you tonight, for whose lives it would inspire. Peace. It's a peace that we are looking for. Perfect song for the moment. Folks, we are taking a break, and we'll return shortly right here on Mikey Live.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
For me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Are you planning an event or looking to rent tents? Then call the tent experts at Waggy T Tent Rentals. We rent tents for all occasions. Tents in different colors, styles, and 25 different sizes, from as little as 10 by 10 to as large as 100 by 40. Call us at 439-TENT. That's 439-8368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Grand Anse, St. George. We are Grenada's tent people.
The following is an important announcement from NOASA. The National Water and Sewage Authority NOASA is an essential service within the meaning of the Emergency Powers COVID-19 Regulations 2020. In light of the recent announcement by the government of Grenada of a mandatory shutdown for the period March 30th to April 6th, 2020, be advised that all offices island-wide will be closed. During the period, the following numbers will be available for the reporting of leaks and no water complaints. The Parish of St. Andrew, 405-3362. The parishes of St. David and St. George, 459-4096, 405-3814, 405-6996. The parishes of St. Mark, St. John, and St. Patrick, 405-1197. NOASA's emergency line, 435-0715 or 292 plus the number sign. WhatsApp 459-6064. Consumers are advised that team members will not provide bill balances and account queries on the telephone numbers provided. NOASA thanks the general public for their understanding and cooperation and encourage you to please be on the safe side. NOASA, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Thank you very much. And folks, we now have for you the National Report.
Prime Minister Mitchell says COVID-19 presents an economic predicament for the country. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Monday, March 30th, 2020, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, says COVID-19 does not only present health complications for the government and people of Grenada, but also an economic predicament. He made the announcement on Monday during a press conference following the announcement of an escalated curfew until April 6th. According to Dr. Mitchell, government has already moved to announce an economic stimulus package to maintain stability during the pandemic. Dr. Mitchell said millions will be lost with the closure of the borders and the airports and key sectors that contribute significantly to economic development.
The current situation is not merely a health crisis, but it is one with significant economic implications across all levels of the society. Business persons, workers, those who are already vulnerable, even the coffers of government are impacted by this crisis. Government has already announced a preliminary economic stimulus package, and we continue to examine ways to maintain the economic stability of this country. We are now working on the implementation process for effecting this economic stimulus package. In addition to the measures announced locally, there are some external sources of funding which we are tapping into to help us through this important crisis. Some of these have already been announced and we will continue to update you as these are finalized.
A clarion call was made for Grenadians to adhere to the regulations issued by government as Grenada battles against COVID-19. Prime Minister Mitchell highlighted that the onus is on everyone to ensure that the elimination of COVID-19 is not a drawn-out process, but by following the guidelines, Grenada can be free of the dreadful virus soon.
We understand that these are very difficult times. This situation, it is not easy for any of us. But we have to arm ourselves the best way possible to get through this crisis. None of us have been prepared properly for what is taking place. The long and short of this pandemic is that the longer we take to adhere to the advice of the experts and the regulations issued by government, it is the longer we will be in this situation. And as you know, fellow Grenadians, as a scientist myself, I believe in science. Those who do not want to believe in science, I feel sorry for them. Our borders have already been closed to incoming passengers. Therefore, we must do everything possible to contain any potential spread of this disease that is already present in our communities.
There are calls for the government to remove the value-added tax, VAT, on essential items during this period. Dr. Mitchell said VAT is needed to keep the country afloat during this period, as government has already pumped millions into the stimulus package and other measures in its fight against the coronavirus.
VAT, my friend, is a tax that you already collect. It's not yours. So when people ask me if they could, what are you asking? You collect the government money, you collect your profit and the value of your goods. You collect a tax for the government. How it could be asking me what you should do with it? It's like I give you a few dollars to give somebody, and you had a little incident, you decide, well, you're keeping the money, you're not going to pay it. Because that doesn't make any sense. It's not yours. So pay the government its VAT resources. And that's all we are saying to people. Because the government is now committing to help so many people.
Acting Commissioner of the Royal Grenada Police Force, Edwin Martin, has assured the members of the force are equipped and ready to work the extended hours of the curfew. He made the announcement during an emergency press conference on Monday evening. Commissioner Martin said officers will be deployed in every parish and community to ensure that Grenadians are in compliance with the regulations for the mandatory curfew until April 6th. He said a decision has been taken to provide an exemption for the Decor gas station in St. George's to open 3 days a week to supply petrol to essential workers. Other gas stations in other areas will be reviewed at a later date.
They will be allowed to open on the same days that we are opening shops. So it's like every other day, as you would see. And it is to open within the same hours of 8 to 12.
He said 3 days a week, Grenadians will be allowed to visit their community shops. Supermarkets will remain closed. He explained why.
I don't think supermarkets will be operating. The days for shops across communities will be, and I want to emphasize shops, these are shops that do not have employees having to come out from outside. These are the shops that are allowed to operate, and not shops that have persons to leave from their homes to come into the shop to work. So shops that are self-operated by the owners are the shops that will be opened, and the days are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between the hours of 8 and 12 noon.
Acting Commissioner Edwin Martin said since the implementation of the curfew last week, there has been a reduction in criminal activities.
The number of crimes occurring daily has significantly reduced. I know we have had, one time I've heard on social media that there were allegations about housebreaking all over the country. And on that specific day that information was sent, there were only 3 crimes reported, one of which was housebreaking.
Still with the news, Grenada now has 9 positive cases of COVID-19 as confirmed by the Ministry of Health over the weekend. Among the patients is a 72-year-old female and a 50-year-old male experiencing mild to moderate symptoms. One of the cases were imported whilst the other was import-related. Minister for Health and Social Security Honorable Nicholas Steele said during his address to the nation that the Ministry of Health will continue to do contact tracing to minimize community transmission.
In terms of testing, 9 people have tested positive so far and 35 negative, with none pending as of this announcement tonight. But with the developments now, we anticipate that this will change overnight. The pending cases are all under surveillance so as to contain further spread of the disease. Our testing included people who have been found through contact tracing, as well as people who had ailments such as respiratory issues. With increasing numbers of cases, CARFA has been working with us and the rest of the region to deliver results in as timely a manner as possible. This is why, now that numbers are increasing, our healthcare team is sparing no effort in contact tracing to determine points of contact, as well as to ascertain the possibility of community spread.
Health officials have been enforcing isolation and quarantine measures for individuals who have been in close contact with other confirmed cases. Health Minister also urges the general public to contact the relevant authorities if any symptoms are exhibited.
Several entire households are presently under quarantine, and we have asked the RGPF to further tighten their surveillance mechanisms to rigidly ensure that people are observing the rules. We remain vigilant. Our medical team, led by our infectious disease specialist, Dr. Sean Charles, has been working tirelessly on actively following up with contact tracing since our first case. All our confirmed cases are being reported to the World Health Organization and Pan American Health Organization. I urge the public to report or inform the Ministry of Health or nearest health facility of any possible or suspected individual displaying acute respiratory symptoms at this time.
This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy. To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal. When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.
Welcome back. A mandatory curfew is in effect for the state of Grenada from 7 p.m. on Monday, March 30th. Minister for Health and Social Security, Honorable Nicholas Steele, said the curfew is necessary to give health officials the time needed to curb the spread of COVID-19 on island. The announcement of the curfew came 24 hours after the minister confirmed 2 additional cases on Saturday, bringing the total to 9 confirmed cases. Minister Steele says the curfew was intensified due to the citizens' lack of respect for the limited state of emergency and the social distancing protocol guidelines.
As Health Minister, my team and I have begged you to stay indoors. Observe social distancing. Wash your hands frequently. Do not touch your eyes, nose, and mouth with unclean hands. Furthermore, cover your nose and mouth when you sneeze or cough. Above all, we sounded the one foolproof measure. Practical or practice social distancing. Sadly, many have not heard us. Many have ignored us. What is more alarming, they have ignored the medical experts.
He said the total disregard for protocol has compromised the country's security, and as a result, from 7 p.m. today, Monday, March 30th to April 6th, Grenada will be under a mandatory curfew.
During this period, every person shall remain confined to their place of residence, inclusive of their yard space. To avoid contact outside of their households, and except to provide in the regulations or as may be authorized in writing by the Commissioner of Police. This means that you are not permitted to go to the beach, go for a walk, or visit your neighbor. You are only to leave for food or medical emergency. And grocery stores and shops will be open, but only on specified days.
That story just ended the National Report for today, Monday, March 30th. Let's recap the top story. Prime Minister says COVID-19 presents an economic predicament for the country. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Government Information Service, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Thank you very much, Rikisha, and everyone else who were part of the production of the National Report. And folks, we will have another National Report program for you tomorrow, God's willing. I know you love it. Yes. And so what else do I have to tell you? I don't think I saw the weather, so I would do some inquiry about that tomorrow, God's willing, so that we'll be able to have that in store for you. All right, guys? And so that's as far as I can take you for tonight. And I just want you and your family to be safe. All right, guys? Remember that you need to stay indoors. And that doesn't apply to Grenada only, but those of you who are in the diaspora as well, you are to follow the same guidelines. I know that, well, yeah, almost every country in the world has a case of the coronavirus. So then it therefore means that you too need to exercise precaution and follow the guidelines. All right, folks, stay safe. May God bless you, and your family again. And you know what, before I go, I know we exhausted our time, but just before I go, let's say hi to a few people quickly, right? Kirin, Shirin, Trevelin, Mishi, Sharon, Irma, Peter, Deborah, Veron, Camille, Rose, Ezran. I said Kirin already. Ruth, Charmaine and John, Ezran, Esther, Cynthia, and everyone else, man. Colette, I see that you're there as well. And T. Marshall, big up TA and all the folks out there in Closure as well. Big up all yourself, right? I miss me people up there. Bad. So everybody take care of yourselves and your family. God bless you, and we touch base to tomorrow, God's willing, again. All right, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I say thank you for watching. Yeah! No. And for some of all you, I know all of those shady business yesterday. I will hold that against all you one day, don't worry. Share the thing, man. Why is that one? Oh, you gotta be selfish, man. Share the thing. Share the business. Anyway, take care. Goodbye.